Here's what's on aspireTV. A feature preview of Twisted Dish.
Welcome to Twisted Dish. I'm Chef Jay. So, based on the recent chicken wars that we've experienced, we know that the chicken sandwich has become very popular. So, but what are we really talking about? A chicken patty and a pickle? Yeah, man, knock it off. So, what we're doing today is we're putting our twist on it, right? We're gonna do a hot honey chicken biscuit. And to add to that, we're gonna do some sweet potato wedges instead of a traditional French fry. You ready for it? Let's go, right here on Twisted Dish.
Twisted Dish. Twisted Dish. Mix it up. Twisted Dish. Mix it up. Twisted Dish.
We're gonna start with our potato wedges because our sweet potato wedges are gonna take a little longer than everything else. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a pan. This is gonna be super simple and easy. So tell the kids, go back, play the video game. You stick with me, we get this knocked out, dinner will be done for the night, right? So we're gonna take our sweet potato wedges. As you can see, I've already cut these up. Nothing too complicated. We're gonna take a little olive oil, right? And all we're gonna do, just toss a little oil over there. What am I doing that for, you're probably asking. So once I apply my brown sugar, my salt, my pepper, the oil is gonna allow those ingredients or those spices to adhere to the potatoes when we put them in the oven. So I'm gonna just toss them around a little bit. Toss them around. You notice I don't have additional dishes. You can utilize it in the same pan that you're actually gonna put in the oven. So take a little bit of that salt. Take some salt, take a little pepper. You don't have to go heavy on your pepper, because again, you're gonna have a lot of spice, a lot of sweetness, a lot of saltiness in your biscuit. Then I get a little brown sugar, right? Just a little bit. Why? Because you don't want the blandness of the sweet potato. For some people, that's enough sweetness, but for me, and I'm sure for you and the kids at home, y'all gonna want a little sweetness when you bite into this, right? So, toss those up. But the one thing you do want to do is make sure that you have all of this stuff laid out flat, because you don't want to cook it stacked like this, because you're going to have a lot of uneven cooking. So we're going to lay those out. Super simple, just like that, right? If you want to put a little more seasoning on at this point, you can. A little more oil just to make sure that you can actually see that texture. I know I will because I like it like that. So I'll just drizzle a little more. Nothing too heavy, right? I'm gonna go back with a little more brown sugar because I like that. And as these are cooking, I may take them out, toss them up a little bit to incorporate those spices. A little more salt, and then we're going in the oven. We'll put these in the oven probably about 30 minutes because again, it's a sweet potato, it's raw, so you wanna cook that all the way through. I like them kind of firm still versus very, very soft. So it's not like I'm making a sweet baked potato. I'm making wedges to go along with my chicken biscuit, right? So let's get this in the oven. Put that in the oven. There we go. We got that set on 400. Like I said, that's gonna go in the oven probably about 20, 30 minutes. You can check it periodically, however you wanna do that. And then once you find the doneness that you want, that's where you go ahead and pull that out, right? So let's get started on this chicken. Now, on the chicken, one thing you gotta remember, there's different cuts that you can utilize. Me, I like the boneless thigh. Why? More flavorful. When you pull it out, it's more tender than the breast. But at the same time, for that budget, it's very budget friendly. So we're gonna go ahead and preheat our Fry Daddy. I say 365 to 375 is a good cooking time on your oil. You wanna cook this about 10 minutes to 12 minutes, depending on if you've kind of pounded them out or you kept them like they are, right? So let's get this started. Give me a little plate to put these chickens on. So what we have here is we have garlic powder, we have pepper, paprika. All of this is gonna go into our flour batter, right? Because you want that flavor on the outside as well. All I'm gonna season the chicken with is salt and pepper. Because once I make the egg wash, some of that is gonna be lost in the sauce, if that makes sense. So let me go ahead and apply these things. We got the garlic. We have the paprika. And like I say, there's no certain measurement that you need to have. However you want to season it. I'm sure that you've cooked chicken before, so this shouldn't be a difficult task, right? So we'll whisk this up to make sure that all those spices are incorporated in all the flour. So, got that mixed up. Sit this here. And I'm gonna bring my chicken over, right? So like I said, super simple on the chicken. I got 2 chicken thighs because again, it's budget friendly. To me, it's more tender at the fry, but at the same time, it's gonna be very enjoyable with those biscuits. So all I'm gonna do is take my salt, take my pepper. I'm going both sides with it, right? You can go a little heavy. Like I said, once you put it in this egg wash, you may lose some of the seasoning, but that's okay. That's all right. A little salt, right? I generally, when I season my meat, I like to pat the spices on it. You don't have to do that. I do it so it kind of adheres because I don't want to use a mustard or anything like that to be a binder because we're frying this. So I take my tongs. If you notice, I'm not touching this meat because it's raw. So I utilize my tongs to flip it over. But also when it's time to apply that batter and the egg wash, I'm gonna do the same thing with the tongs, right? So same thing goes with the second side. When you season the meat, don't just season one side. Do you eat just one side? I'm sure you don't. So make sure you season both sides because you want that balance there, right? There we go. Nothing too complicated. Pat that down. Pat that in. We good. So now, I'm gonna create this egg wash right quick. Usually an egg wash, you may do a buttermilk bath before you actually put it in. You can do egg wash with heavy cream. You can do it with milk, add hot sauce. But today we're gonna do it super simple. Take you some scrambled egg, or should I say some egg that's already mixed up. Take you some water. You don't have to put too much, but you want enough because like I said, you're gonna create a nice little egg wash. All you're doing here is utilizing this as somewhat of a binder, right? This is what you're gonna put your chicken in. Once you put your chicken in, then you're gonna put it in your breading. Once you put it in your breading, you're going straight through. So when we get back, we're gonna go through this process of doing our egg wash, doing our flour batter, dropping it in right here on Twisted Dish.
Watch aspireTV.